Today, George and I are going to talk a little bit about a very common thing. You see this in people who are brand new to grappling, gi and no gi, and a lot of times people will talk about not to do it. This is one of those things not to do, but there's a reason why not to do it, and it's not just not to be a jerk to your partner. So what are we talking about? So George is down bottom of closed guard, and I'll be on top, and my task here is to open his closed guard. And if you are starting in Jiu-Jitsu, you're brand new, or if you're partnered with someone brand new, you'll often see them doing something like this, where they take the elbow and they put it on the inside of the thigh, and they use the point of the elbow to push in the hopes of being able to open the guard from here. Okay, it's a bad idea. So there are two reasons why it's a bad idea, and we're going to talk about both of them. Actually, there are three. The first one is there's much more effective ways of opening the guard. Usually we advocate standing up. But even if you're going to do something like this, it makes much more sense for you to have your whole forearm, like a greater surface area, against your partner's thigh and part of their knee in order to be able to open their feet than it does to just have like one single point. Okay, so in terms of just pure mechanics, it's not a good idea. Okay, next, as most people know, and this has been discussed a lot, like it's just a jerk move, you know? Like you're not, if George is insistent on keeping his guard closed, like no amount of like digging and trying to find a pressure point on the inside of his thigh is gonna do anything more than just piss him off, okay? So like I can sit here and grind, I mark myself as being a novice moron, and then also, he's not opening his guard, and he's getting angry.
I just did this an hour ago.
He's getting like more and more irritated. Thankfully, I was the one that he was doing it to, so I'm a little bit more, I've got some patience, you know, built up over time. But, you know, like you're just sitting here grinding, it doesn't work. The third reason is because it leaves you very susceptible to being triangled. So when George is in here, if he takes his elbow and starts to dig, you'll notice that his arm is inside the line of my legs. George is pushing here, digging, whether I put my hand here on his wrist or I hold the back of his neck or I don't do anything and he's pushing, I'm just gonna do the splits like this. Then from here, we'll cast the legs up. So you have a couple of issues here if you're on the top. One, there are more effective ways of opening the guard. One of them might be grabbing the pants here with the hand, dropping the elbow down, and then using this to open. Okay, the advantage of this is now it's harder for me to pull the gi through, pull his sleeve through, even if I have the gi grip. Plus, he's more effective because he's got a greater surface area. Okay, the next thing, when he's digging his elbow to the inside here, he's, you know, branding himself as, you know, someone who is new and also not out to make friends. Okay, present company excluded.
Very low IQ individual.
We're buddies. And then the last thing is that when he's pushing here, if I just put my hand on his wrist, or sometimes if he's like really digging here, I just have to throw the legs up in order to catch him in the triangle, and then from here we can adjust, or we can bring the legs across for 3/4. So you have a whole host of problems if you're this guy. The other side of it, of course, is if you're on the bottom and somebody is doing this to you, a very good answer is the triangle. Catching the collar, holding the back of the neck, pushing the wrist inside, splitting your legs, and then out of this position where your partner's down on their knees, you have a nice entry into triangle attacks and other setups for upper body submissions. Train hard. Thanks for watching. See you soon.